Nobody will ever love you like your mom. Look, I'm not taking requests, but I finished yesterday and I got a really nice message on Facebook from his mom, Regina, who said, hey, my son, my child, could you please, Mr. Pratt, give him some love. So you know what? In between Elwood and from the home studio, in between is the hometown of yours truly, New Brighton. So we're going to talk to Langdon Mccomas. Of course, it is quality time and carry out, plus for all of the sweet treats next door, treasure box. But we begin with you, your significant other, who you saw moments ago doing all of the hard work and heavy lifting in the kitchen. What is her first name?
Marion.
So you and her, you actually worked at a car dealership, Ron Lewis in Cranberry, but lo and behold, you're now an entrepreneur. So kind of get me caught up.
So Marion's worked in restaurants, you know, most of her adult life, has always been a great cook and interested in it. So back in 2018, we took a minute, you know, we had saved up and figured out what we were going to do and, you know, opened the restaurant. Whereas I had not worked in a restaurant a day in my life until I owned one. But that's pretty much it. We looked around, found a great spot. We, you know, just love where New Brighton's future seems to be going, and
good direction.
A great place to get started.
Well, he is a graduate of New Brighton in 1999. My middle child, Robbie, was born in 1999. His mother, a 1988 graduate of New Brighton. I, as I mentioned, a graduate of New Brighton. So this is all about our community. And there are a lot of great things happening in New Brighton, Pennsylvania. And any chance I get to promote it, I will. But you really do some incredible things. And I've done just a little bit of research because I've been busy. But one of the things that I noticed that you're doing, you've got something really incredible for Thanksgiving. And I saw the price and I'm like, look, I used to work in the restaurant business. I've been around a little bit. I don't know where you're going to get a deal like that. So talk about what you're doing for Thanksgiving.
So we do a buffet it's this year's $27 for adults. And it's, you know, all the fixings, the turkey, the gravy, the mashed potatoes, honey glazed carrots, sweet potato, all of it, with dessert and drinks included. And we've done it every year since we've opened.
That's nice.
And it generally sells out pretty quickly. But yeah, now that we've been able to extend into the next room and have a second dining room, it's just gotten that much bigger and has continued to grow over the last 8 years.
Only because I love history. I'm all about the past, the present, and the future, as you can tell. What was originally in this building? Do you know?
Before us, it was the Catholic bookstore.
I do remember that.
We used to have the monuments outside and stuff.
I actually bought a few rosary beads here years ago. I did. I knew that.
Yeah, before that, I haven't found out much. We've had a guy stop in. He said he had a travel agency in here at one point. But other than that, I don't know too much.
Let me tell you, going way, way back, when I grew up here, we would go to Mass, obviously, at then St. Joe's Church, and we would go up the hill before my grandmother's house for dinner. We'd go to Beaver Valley Bakery. So it's nice to know that some people can still get some sweet treats. So tell me about Treasure Box.
Treasure Box, we opened a year and a half ago. So we, over here, had always done milkshakes, but we were doing something like 1,800 milkshakes a year, and we're small, so we had nowhere.
How many?
It was we hit at 1,800 at one point for a year. And in that tiny kitchen, it can be rough.
Yeah, man.
So when next door became available, we swooped it up as fast as we could, and that's where we got the milkshakes there, and then expanded that into smoothies and acai bowls and grab and go coolers, and then we also carry locally sourced like honey, and we have candles from Pappy's right down the street. Wow. Soaps and stuff made by Oakman Farms. That's right out on Silver Spring. So.
Listen, I'm all about the entrepreneurial spirit. And a lot of times when I'm just trying to decompress, I'll go to Sheetz, get a cup of coffee, or Brighton Hot Dog Shop, best cup of coffee anywhere, and I'll just drive around the old homestead. And you always hope and dream and wish that these little businesses are doing what you're doing. Because, they come and go.
Yeah.
But for some reason, New Brighton has really found a way. Now, there's been some that haven't succeeded, and, there's others that come in and do better, and they stay, and sometimes they don't. But for the most part, the blueprint, it really works. This town really supports each other, don't
Yeah,
they?
absolutely. Yeah. We built slowly and just tried to really be part of the community and part of the events, and as the community is growing, we continue growing, and we couldn't think of a better town to have really started our business and our growth as a family and a business.
Listen, great minds think alike. You see that hat he has on, New Era cap? By the way, available at Enlow Shoes. Bobby Middleton going out of business. All sorts of great deals. Got to give him some love. One of my favorite teams growing up, the Montreal Expos. And do you know that Rob Manfred, the commissioner, is talking about expansion by 2030, and what Toronto is on the verge of doing? There are great baseball fans that side of the border. I'd love to see them go back. Gary Carter, Tim Raines, Coco LeBoy, long before your time, a perennial minor leaguer, 10 years before he got an opportunity to start in the bigs, and his very first game was against the Pittsburgh Pirates at Forbes Field in the summer of 1970, and guess who was there? Me. So being that I'm a little bit French-Canadian because of my father, I admire the hat. Now, you told me you graduated from New Brighton, 99. You got to be at least 6'5".
Yep, right on the nose.
Did you play basketball?
No, I did track in high school. Did hurdles.
Oh, neat. What do you like about New Brighton? I just absolutely love it. Obviously, my children's mother's from here, my sisters, me, the parish I grew up in, the school that somehow I got through because I wasn't the best of students. But every time I come here, especially on Halloween, which is a very important holiday, I get sentimental. And this is a really good story. And your mom, I found out, used to run the old Unimart, which is now Kibler's Corner. So I'm sure, Regina, if you think long and hard enough, you remember me, and I hope it's a good memory. But it's really a special place, isn't it?
It is. It has that almost movie-like, picturesque downtown.
Right.
It has a great, the people. There's different people. They're from all walks of life, and there's just not the trouble you find in other places. It's just a great, right before we opened this, we also bought our home here, And
You live in New Brighton?
Yes.
Oh, that's neat.
we bought that, and then a year later opened this, and, our children we've had one graduate from New Brighton, one's about to graduate, and the other one's in 3rd grade.
How lucky are you? You understand those are the best years of your life. I would give anything to go back just to be with my children. And I guarantee you, if my children and I were walking downtown New Brighton, we would definitely stop in here. It's just a great place. And what I love about it, you look around and behind the camera, there are books, there's memories of great board games, something I've been talking about of late, where we as families, especially with the holidays coming up, would sit down and these Monopoly games that would go on between Christmas and New Year's. So you realize you're really creating something for future generations.
Yeah, that's why there's no TVs in here. We wanted the games where you sit down with the family, you put the phones away, and just enjoy a meal together like it used to be.
Did you ever think in your wildest dreams that it would become this successful? It's really hard. Even when they drop a Frito-Lay box, you just got to keep rolling. The guy's doing a great job. But believe me, I've been at this a long time. They've tried, believe me, they've tried. But did you ever think in your wildest dreams it would turn out like this?
We weren't sure. I worked the first 2 years we were open. I was still working at the dealership because, we didn't put all our eggs in one basket.
Smart.
We gave it that first 2 years to just grow without having to rush it and be panicked,
It's sustaining itself now more than you ever.
Absolutely. It pays the bills at home and at the business. it was our 2-year anniversary when COVID hit.
Ooh.
You know, and then that's another great thing about New Brighton is when that happened and we were, you know, curbside only and all that, and nobody was quite sure what was going on. We had a lot of support from the community that was like, we want to make sure you survive this. And because of them, we did. And now have, you know, 6 years later, have been able to thrive.
So as a young kid sitting in that parish, many Sundays, holy days of obligations, we would always sit on the side. You had the Virgin Mary here, statue, and you had Joseph on the other side. We'd always sit, and I would always kind of look at Mary just thinking, I want to go to my grandmother's because I know she's got food on right now. Maybe I'll get there in time for some bacon and eggs. And I was always thinking about food. And I've often questioned whether or not there's a heaven. As soon as I came in here and your lovely significant other had that griddle full of eggs and bacon, and now if you could only smell what I'm smelling, it feels as though I'm a kid again. If heaven is anything like what I'm experiencing now, I will never stop praying. Listen, you should be so proud of yourself. Please tell your mom I said hello, and more importantly, you have my number. If I can ever help promote this in any way I can, I will be here. But please remind folks about some of the different things you serve on the menu, your business hours, and then we'll wrap up with Thanksgiving. But let's talk about the food that you serve here.
We have things from wraps, like a blackened shrimp wrap and a chicken avocado burrito. Those are two very popular items.
And she came up with all this.
Yeah.
Amazing. Don't ever let her go.
Yeah.
Because I'll be knocking on the door. Go ahead.
Yeah, we started, when we opened, our thing was mac and cheeses.
Ooh.
We have like a pulled pork mac and a buffalo chicken mac, and even those have grown into some other ones.
That's unique. I mean, I do this show, the Coons Cooking Hour, Coons Market, Hopewell, everything you need, we're always there for you. But this is some really, I mean, I've never heard different variations of mac and cheese. That's pretty special. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, when we opened, we didn't want to have the same as everybody else. Like, we don't even have deep fryers. Everything's fresh, made to order. Our Cajun Alfredo is one of the most popular things on the menu. And then, of course, the salads, and then a whole breakfast menu that's a little different than everybody else's.
How's it different?
So we have like a Tex-Mex wrap that's really good. Like, our crepes, like.
Crepes?
Yeah.
Wow.
The most popular breakfast items probably are French toast grilled cheese. Comes with the eggs and bacon and cheese on 2 pieces of French toast.
He just went by with a huge jug, gallon, massive Blue Bunny ice cream. I will be parking it here for the next hour or so after we get done. Listen, just be so proud of what you're doing. And this thing you're doing for Thanksgiving, look, if you want to save time, obviously the cleanup, the cooking, and you really want to pay a minimal price for all the fixings, tell them what you're doing. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so you can do our buffet that take reservations from 12 to 4. We also have catering packages, which is oven ready. You can pick up the day before Thanksgiving. Then on Thanksgiving, all you have to do is put it in the oven for an hour, and everybody's ready to eat. And then we'll also have some takeout dinners that day.
The father of 3, a beautiful significant other, a wonderful family gathering, but it's all about the community. The weekend, why in the world would you want to cook and waste a beautiful weekend that is about to unfold as we get ready to turn the clocks back Sunday morning at 2 a.m. This is kind of a throwback, but they are moving in the right direction into the future. It's Your Pratte Pack, Langdon, and me. Man, quality time and carry out and treasure box. Those milkshakes, $1,800 in a year, are you kidding me? Have a great weekend from my hometown of New Brighton, Pennsylvania.